Welcome to Four Guys with Quarters, episode 8, part of season 2. And today we have a very special guest who was on the last episode as well. His name is Dreadpool. Welcome to the show, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on again.
Oh, glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Taylor couldn't make it tonight. She had to do some super important stuff with her job and whatnot. And we have the guy who's never, ever missed an episode ever of any episode, and his name is ZPC Assassin. What's up, buddy?
So,
Nice. You're gonna change the intro next episode?
nope.
All right, I like that. I like that. Well, anyway, on tonight's episode, we got some things to talk about. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of stuff because we're not going to get into the rumors of Scarlet and the PS5 and what's better, what sounds like a UFO, and what can go underwater. But we are going to talk about a little bit about XO19, our thoughts on Everwild, Grounded, Jedi Fallen Order, which is amazing, Death Stranding. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. I want to open up with XO19. I think that this year, I think XO19 was a pretty big show. I think Xbox did an excellent job presenting what they wanted to present. I don't necessarily think that we were mind blown on everything, but we got some awesome information on xCloud. The fact that they opened it up to more people in the preview beta, or however you want to call it. We saw some stuff in Everwild, Grounded. Let me get into Assassin, who watched some of the show. Assassin, what did you think?
I thought it was alright. I'm glad they showed a bunch of games and like the Yakuza games and all those other games that people wanted that were on PS4 or PC or whatnot. Like, I'm glad we're getting those. I won't play them. They don't look interesting whatsoever. The new games that coming from Obsidian, I forget the name of it. That looks interesting. I hope it's actually good and don't have to worry about like eating and sleeping and drinking and all that other stuff you get like from Ark. If it's none of that is like that, then I think it'll be great. I think Rare's game, to be honest, I totally forgot to look at the trailer. That was the one thing that I ended up missing because their mixer stream was totally garbage. It froze for the first like 20 minutes, and I was part of it. So I didn't look at it, and I totally forgot to look at it. So, I mean, I have a feeling it might be good. It is rare. Speaking of, um, but yeah, overall, I thought it was better than those other terrible inside Xbox shows that they always do.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think the presentation was a lot better. I think they were more well prepared. I think all the fans gathering there really made the show something quite special as well. And I even think the Xbox Pope, aka Tom, Jordy Tommy, showed up there for a little bit. Dreadpool, did you watch any of XO19?
I did. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't have, high hopes because you know how it is. Everybody's always overhyping everything. I kept it, subtle. I was excited to see what they have for us, but I wasn't like anticipating, oh, this game's going to be on here and this game they better show this. No, it was hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And normally they disappoint. They do like these weird stunts that nobody really cares about. But this time it was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty good. It wasn't as bad as everybody made it out to be.
Right.
Yeah, I think pretty much that really does sum up XO19. I really don't think there's a lot more that we could say. I mean, Everwild was Rare's new IP that they kind of hyped up a little bit. I think it looks very like a weird cartoon. Kind of like it reminded me of Breath of the Wild a little bit in a sense, but maybe in Rare's own, version. I'm not too
Let's
excited.
let's hope it's better than Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you really hate that game, don't you?
That game was so disappointing.
Assassin, sometimes we gotta question your
I'm
ethics,
sorry, I like good
Well,
games, and that was not a good game.
Wow. But I will say that for me, Everwild's not like necessarily my type of game, but I will try it out because it's probably going to be in Game Pass. It is a first party studio game, and I give everything a chance, even if I don't like the looks of it at first. Like Death Stranding, it should not be Game of the
Hey,
Year. Um,
check. Wow, great game.
and Grounded looked kind of interesting but weird at the same time. And there's a lot of jokes of like Honey I Shrunk the Kids around this one. Did you guys look into any more of that, or just what we saw in the preview?
I just saw what they showed, but I mean, it's a small team, right? They didn't really show much. I didn't see that they talked much about it, other than you know, Honey I Shrunk the Kids feeling, which was a good movie. Um, but yeah, I mean, when is it coming out? Did they say?
To be honest with you, I did not see that. Dreadpool, do you know more about
I
this one?
don't. I don't recall when it's coming out, if they even announced it. I do get that same feel. That was the first thing I thought of was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So, I was expecting all those little memes about that and all the jokes. I mean, it seemed interesting, but I'm also on if my friends aren't playing it, I'm probably not going to be playing it much either.
Yeah, yeah.
Battle Royale games, you got to play with your friends. Playing singles is okay. If you're really good at it, then it's not as big of a deal. But if you're okay, when you come up against a team, you're getting you're getting everything handed right back at you.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. So, is Grounded a battle royale game? Because I wasn't
No,
really.
it's a survival game. Um, who knows if it's like Ark, or if it's just like Minecraft type of not literally Minecraft, but like you're just on a server with some friends or by yourself kind of a
Uh,
thing, or if it's like what's that game that's coming, Rust, if it's like Rust.
Oh yeah, Rust looks kind of good, right? From what I've seen on the PC and the PC players. If anyone in the chat has any experience with Rust, please drop some comments below. I'd like to get your thoughts on that game.
I thought they said something about Battle Royale, so that's kind of where I lean towards. But it is a survival game, but I thought it would had a little bit more with Battle Royale.
I'll have to look into that, so maybe next episode we can clarify. But be interesting if that does turn out to be like a battle royale game. That would be very interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
I could kind of see that taking off with a lot of kids out there.
It'd be a
yeah,
good summer type game. Not you have nothing to play. It just drops in the middle of like July or August.
yeah. I'm seeing a couple titles here for it. It's listed as a survival game crossed with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Interesting. Oh, that is going to be one interesting game then. Is that the one that's made by Obsidian?
Yes.
Yeah, it's made by like a small team.
Well, I'm really surprised that Obsidian ventured into that type of game with like Honey and Shrunk the Kids kind of theme going for it. But before we drown out the topic of Grounded, I wanted to get a little bit into Death Stranding. Um, there's a lot of for me. There's a lot of controversy around this game, right? Like I'm not a huge fan of Kojima. I'm gonna be honest and upfront with you guys. I've never really liked any of Kojima's stuff, to be honest. Not saying that he's a bad designer, producer, etc. He may be very talented, but I just don't click with his type of games. So for me, I want to try Death Stranding just because, it was something new, something different. I was bored. I went to Redbox. I rented it. Forgot I even had it. Ended up with like a $25 Redbox fee. And I played maybe like 2 hours of it. And for me, I just felt like I was hiking everywhere with these like boxes on my back. And I was tripping over rocks. And I'm like, come on, dude, get a grip. Like, you can't control yourself over a rock. Like, every rock. Hold L R, balance yourself. Get in the water, LR. Like, I mean, that's excessive. Is there some type of other issues I'm not seeing that the character might be suffering from that doesn't make sense to me? That I always got to balance myself.
Well,
On
you're
top,
carrying too much on your back.
He's
That's
got
why.
he's got weak ankles.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. But Assassin, I mean, how would I even know I'm carrying too much? Because I'm just picking up what they said pick up. They're like, go here, pick this up. Oh, look for this. Make some sounds. Oh, nice baby.
I mean, you do have a weight, uh, like counter or whatever you want to call it when you're picking up packages, so you kind of know when you're getting close. You'll start doing that hold L2 R2 mini game.
Well, on top of that, I started thinking to myself, I'm like, well, delivery games. There was one really fun delivery game, like back in the 80s, called Paperboy, and you had a bicycle, and you avoided objects and creepy people, and there were red houses where you could bust windows with papers and get it in the door in the mailbox. Like, wow, if Death Stranding would have had a bicycle and you could throw some papers around, I would love this game. But in its current state, I officially do not love the game. And personally, I just don't see the value in it being a Game of the Year nomination. I mean, that's just my take on it. And I know Assassin's probably got a lot more to say than me on this topic, so I want to go to Dreadpool real quick. Have you played this game? What do you think of it? Your thoughts, opinions?
I'm gonna ride the middle ground on this one, um, only for the fact that I haven't played it, and to me, watching it and everybody talks about, you watch the game, it's not as fun as when you're actually playing the game. So obviously you've played it, you know what it feels like, you know what you like. Um, to me, it doesn't seem interesting. It was intriguing to see what this game was going to be, but now that it's out, it's basically like Dealer said, it was a FedEx simulator. Deliver packages, do this and that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more to it. It's supposed to build a community and re. There's also other subliminal things underneath that everybody's talking about. I really don't care. Is the game fun? Maybe. I don't know. Some people have said it is surprisingly fun once you get into it and you give it a chance. Um, is it actually enjoyable fun, or is it just fun because you're doing something, you're playing a video game? I don't know. For it being just the game that it is, maybe I'll try it. But it hasn't really intrigued me enough to want to go out and buy it. So maybe rent it or borrow it from somebody. It will happen at some point in time. But right now, it doesn't even have that much interest from me to go out and waste some time to try to figure out if I want to play this game. Now, you still want to? Do you want to talk about the Game of the Year nomination right now, or do you want to hold off on that?
You can briefly mention. I mean, that's fine. We're on the
Okay.
topic.
All right. Well, I think it's kind of suspect that it has so many. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of drama that everybody's digging up this, digging up that. Well, this angle here is saying, they moved the dates back so that the game would fit in that time frame, but yet Star Wars won't fit in there, even though it made the cutoff date. And there's a lot of misinformation going out there. People just need to sit down and read what was printed and put out there. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying that everybody's misinformed. There's just a lot of, I heard this, and the telephone game. But at the same time, if Star Wars made it in, why isn't it in? There's a lot of stuff that they need a clear cut, put down a date. If you're going to put 2019 games in, you should probably cut it off at New Year's. Is it New Year's Eve, Eastern? Is it Greenwich Mean Time? Which is it? Now on the other side of all the nominations, I know Phil's in there, Phil Spencer and Phil, whatever his name is, the Phil from Google, he's in there, and then you got
I think Doug Bowser for Nintendo, right?
yeah, Doug Bowser's in there. Kojima's listed as a founder in there, so there's a lot of things that kind of don't look right. And if they want to be legitimate, and I want to give them that, they need to actually be very transparent with what they're doing. He doesn't make the votes, but yet he votes in who he chooses who's going to be in there. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a board, and then see, and that's where it gets all shady and hard to maneuver through the muddy waters because we don't know which way's what. It. He might not actually have anything to say. We don't know, but because he doesn't have it set up where we can also see it. Nobody else, as far as I know, has said anything like Phil Spencer or Phil. I want to say Hartman, but it's not Hartman. The other Phil that went to Google or Bowser. You know what I mean? Nobody's actually said, "Hey, look, as a board, we've decided. We do a rotation, or we don't know nothing. Nobody else has said anything except for Jeff. God, man, why am I drawing a blank?
That's all
Keeley.
right. I mean,
Uh,
I kind of get what you're saying, Dreadpool. I think for me as well, I've from the day one that I saw this in there, I was like, well, Kojima's a founder on the board. Is he allowed to vote on his own game? Like, did he vote himself on this game as well as the rest of the board? I think when it comes to like guys like Phil, he's a really good guy. So I think maybe he's just laid back and he's like, okay, I had fun with the game, or the game's good, or here it's good. It had a lot of artistic vision. I'll vote on it. I could see a guy like Phil voting for a game that's outside of the platform and whatnot, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think Outer Worlds being on there was kind of like a gift to Microsoft in a sense, as far as lucky for them that the game released in the time frame window because that game has people love that game, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what console or platform you play on, people liked Outer Worlds, whether you're a PS4 fan, PC fan, Nintendo fan, Xbox fan. People that played it, they loved it. Didn't matter the platform of choice. So I get what you're saying, and you're going with all this Kojima stuff, and sometimes I wonder too, because I don't know, I just think it's kind of weird for me. There's a lot I want to say, but I'm probably wrong, and it's just gonna go into conspiracy theories. So before I I get off track, I want to let Assassin talk about the massive amounts of hours he put into that game.
Yeah, so I am loving Death Stranding. I think it's a great game. Yes, the delivering packages can be a bit boring at times and stuff, but like the whole BTs and the BBs and all that like other weird stuff that's kind of hard to explain is like I find super fascinating, and then having like the whole like game connect you with other players where you don't actually see these other players but you see their structures. You're trying to like help kind of just reconnect the entire America with these structures and stuff. I thought that was a pretty cool concept. I know Clowns, he told me a few days ago that he doesn't like that. No one should get like a free pass or whatever. And I mean, I disagree, but I mean that's his opinion. But I think it's great. The whole like there's actually combat in the game. That is definitely interesting. It's definitely not the main focus of the game, but it's a nice change of pace. Um,
Can you describe what the comment is like? It's not like peeing on people, right?
no, so like you have this, I forget, it's like a rope. It's like some rope, and then it has some of your blood tied into it. It's really weird. But you pretty much when someone attacks you, you can like wrap it around them and like knock them out. Or there's guns. There's lethal and non-lethal guns. I believe there's if you do kill people, there's a negative aspect to that, but I'm not too sure because I always go non-lethal. So I could be missing a whole different thing. Um, and then there's the BTs, which are like the dead people that you need the baby to see them. You can like kill them and stuff. I don't do that. I like to just sneak past them. And then there's vehicles and all this other stuff to kind of just get you around, and people can donate their vehicles, and you can level up from just going over, people going over your structures and stuff and getting ratings and likes and stuff. And like, I mean, who cares if you have like 1,000 likes on a bridge? But again, it's kind of cool knowing that you helped other people deliver their packages in areas where there's just a bunch of annoying rocks to get over. So you don't have to play that stupid annoying hold L2 R2 nonsense.
Is it mean to take other people's ropes down?
I do it occasionally because some people are extremely stupid when they put their stuff down and it literally goes nowhere, or it's in a spot that will potentially just take you to a spot that is just a worse situation than you needed. Um, but then like there's messages where like there could be a section of the map that has the BTs, and people will be like, just watch out, BT area, so you can go around it or just truck on through or whatever. So
Now, Assassin, do you think that the game is, from your playthrough so far, do you think the game is worthy of a Game of the Year contender?
I think from what I've played compared to the rest of the games I've played this year, absolutely.
I mean, that's a fair point. You've put a lot of hours into this game, and I know you as a gamer. You are dedicated. Once you're into a game, you try to figure everything out. You enjoy the cutscenes. You enjoy the music. You enjoy the visual aesthetics. I mean, basically, when you like a game, you like almost everything about the game. So the music, the composition. What do you think of that?
So I think Kojima picked out the music himself, and a lot of it is good. But the problem is, like, I think the way that they wanted the game was not have the music like ruin it in a way. They want you to like just listen to the world and stuff, and like that's good and all. But when you're delivering a package super far away, I would like to have them like have earbuds and just listen to some of the music other than like occasionally when you get to a certain part, like a song will just pop up, and that's how you unlock it, just by progressing the game. Which that's really nice when it happens. But then the only way you can listen to that song again is if you go to your safe house and you turn it on while you take a dump or something and get like these grenades that are like some number two or something, so you can throw them at like dead people. Like who really thought of throwing poop grenades at dead people? Like
Yeah, I mean, there's some strange stuff about the game that you either get or you don't get, and I don't even understand the urinating aspect of it.
yeah, it like and when you pee, like you grow mushrooms. You can't do anything with the mushrooms. You just see other people's mushrooms. Like they had like a lot of liquids or something. Like I guess they really had to go pee or something. That part's kind of stupid. But you can also make your pee into grenades if you do it at the safe house.
Wow, this game is I mean, this game is a little far out there. And I thought some parts of Outer Worlds was a little far out there, but interesting. I did not even know that. Dreadpool, you got any other comments on Death Stranding?
No, no, I'm pretty much good. Like I said, it hasn't interested me that much, and I still find it, you know, like I said, you got people on both sides. Either you absolutely hate it or you absolutely love it. So I'm just on the middle because I haven't been able to try it, and it's not. It doesn't seem for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at. I might give it another shot because the cutscenes look fantastic, but to me, that was about it on the game is the cutscenes. And I could probably just YouTube the cutscenes if I wanted to, or Twitch watch them, whatever, these days. But I want to get into a game that I really enjoyed this year so far, and I wish that. I know you said, Dreadpool, that it should have been in the cutoff, but I've heard things that it did not make the cutoff. But I want to talk about it. It is Jedi Fallen Order. I love this game. If I was to do my own game of the year for Four Guys, this would be my game of the year for Four Guys. I think the game is fantastic, and Assassin and I both have played it extensively. But Dreadpool, have you played this game or watched anything of it?
No, I've been watching a lot of people play it. I've been watching in commentary, and it looks like a great game. I did notice that when he slides down the mud, it's kind of soupy, and I'm surprised nobody even picked up on that. But other than that, I mean, it looks great. I wish I could play it. I can't wait to play it. Um, I do know that it has, and some people took offense to it, but it has a what was it? Dark Souls kind of vibe to it, but it's not really. And I get it, and I don't want anybody thinking I'm saying it's Dark Souls. It's not, but it has it has a learning curve. You have to think about what you're doing. I mean, you are supposed to be some sort of Jedi or Padawan. I don't know what he is necessarily, other than he's got a lightsaber and he's supposed to be a Force user. So and he's on the run, So in order to obviously battle with a lightsaber and use the Force, you have to learn how to use your powers. So if you're a Jedi Master, you'd start off the game as a Jedi Master. That's why I'm saying I'm not sure what he is because yet again I haven't played the game, so I don't know how the story goes. But it's very interesting on how the mechanics are that they've the specs that they put in there. You can only kill and lob off limbs and stuff like that with monsters or creatures, but anything that's human you can't do. You can only slice them up and that's it. But yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed watching it and been jonesing to play it myself.
That's good to hear. I mean, I would say that you're 100% correct. There's a lot of things in that game that you mentioned that are true. And want to go to Assassin on this so he can pour out his thoughts and love into the Star Wars universe, since he is a Jedi, aka an Imperial at heart. So, Assassin, what are your thoughts on this?
I love the game. I think it kind of started a little bit too slow, but then it like probably third or whatever, like it picked up very fast and was just like, this is Star Wars. Like this is the game, the Star Wars game I want, right? Like, all like especially in the cutscenes, like you don't see this except in like the movies or series, and it is just I'm like just shocked. I won't get into spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But like there's a scene like in the middle and the end. It's just my mind just went boom, like just blew up. It was just so mind blowing. The combat I thought even on the hardest difficulty was pretty easy, and I wish it was harder. I know that not everyone wants to hear on that, but it's still good, even just killing a normal stormtrooper. It's just so satisfying. The boss fights against the Inquisitors and people I won't mention due to spoilers are are just so fun to do. The only thing I wish is if you killed certain people, they don't show it in the cutscenes. Like I don't know if it's Respawn's doing or Disney's doing, but I would love to see someone die in a cutscene. Um, I think you see one person die like literally like in the first like 5 minutes, and that's it in a cutscene, and it's so disappointing because they're like, oh, they died, but they probably could be alive. It's Star Wars. But yeah, I think the game is fantastic. Performance mode is an absolute joke of a mode. It should not be in the game because the game has so many frame drops in that mode. It got me killed so many different times when I played it on Grandmaster difficulty. I recommend turning that off. You'll have a way better experience at 30 frames than somewhere between 30 and 50 and it dropping constantly.
Now, you mentioned some things that this game is actually considered canon. Can you explain what that means to people?
It means everything you see in the Star Wars movies, the newer books, the Star Wars Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, like that is all connected in some way. So like Cal Kestis, the character you play as, he could be in a book or he could be in a movie, and it's all like legit or whatever. It's not just some nonsense Respawn made up. And I also like to mention I'm a huge Clone Wars fan, and watching like all these Clone Wars era ships and stuff getting destroyed or left to like be rusted, and that whole Order 66, because it takes like a few years after that. It's just so sad. Like I almost wanted to cry because I'm such a huge fan of that entire era, and just watching it just be destroyed was just so sad.
Now, were you a fan of the Clone Wars when the clones were good or the clones were bad?
Um, so like everything in that era, I'm a fan of. I love that the clones went against the Jedi and killed them all, or most of them. Spoilers if you haven't paid attention to Star Wars in the past 10 years, but or more than 10 years. But like it's just still sad because like just the music and just watching it is just it makes you sad, and then you go to a new era which is still good, but it's not as good as the Clone Wars, and having like all those people fight, droids versus clones, shit ton of Jedi versus Grievous and Dooku, and it's just such a good franchise.
Well, one thing I want to say is I know that you mentioned that you felt like it started out slow, and in some ways, I agree with you, but at the same time, I kind of disagree. Like, I think it started out slow in the fact that it built up the character instead of just going into it. I felt like with Star Wars at this point, we've all are familiar with the movies, whether we've seen them or not. We read stuff on the internet. They could have just jumped into his character in a sense instead of like doing a little bit of a backstory. But at the same time, I really enjoyed the first part of the game. Like I thought
Yeah, like
that whole
I'm
area was cool.
I'm agreeing with you. Like yeah, the slowness is bad, but like the character development, like yeah, we don't want to be like so and so did this and this and this, and then just like the whole game you already knew and you don't get anything. Like having it like fed to you after X amount of like mission or not missions, gameplay, parts of the game or whatever, and then they feed you story and then more character development. That's really good. I think it's the best we've seen in a Star Wars game, and probably a game probably this whole gen for video games.
Yeah, and I think I'm not going to get into it. I think there's a little bit of flaws in the story that I thought could have been better. And I won't spoil later on for anyone that's going to play the game. But there's some things I liked and some things I really did not like. But however, with that said, I really enjoyed the fact of the story mode because even though I'm not playing on Dark Souls difficulty or Bloodborne difficulty, and everything is like super easy, I felt like that I could get through the story, enjoy the game, didn't have to worry about dying 10,000 times or avoiding enemies and accidentally falling off a cliff, which I'm sure a lot of people did on higher difficulties. So that was fun for me. And the story was really mind-blowing. Like, I couldn't wait to get to the next part of the story. Like, I kept rushing through. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get to the next part. Gotta get to the next part. Gotta find out what happens. Like, it's addictive like that, this game. There's a lot of connecting things that are just so addictive with this story that you want to get to the end to find out what happens. And when you get there, you're like, wow, this game is really good. Nothing else is like it right now. Like, I can't go back to any other game and feel like I've accomplished something because this game was so good for me. If I had to rate this game, I'm probably up there with like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, I think the game was almost perfect. On PlayStation, I played it on PlayStation. I didn't have the performance issues that you've had. I had some minor stuttering here and there. Like his hair kind of looked weird in the back of his head. It almost looked like.
Are you on performance mode, or are you just on non-performance mode?
I was on the mode that the game just automatically defaulted
Okay,
to.
so you run on performance mode, yeah. Like Digital Foundry did a video, like they recommend like if you play on having performance mode off, because like they said like the game would be like a 9, and with it on, it would be like a 6 out of 10.
Wow.
Like it is like such a terrible experience with performance mode. Like every place you go is just constant frame rate drops. And I somehow mustered through it and played it on the hardest difficulty, but it was not fun at certain times. Like I almost want to just throw my controller. There's just some times where you need to like block at certain points or dodge, and frame rate drops, and you're done.
Sounds like you mislabeled that performance mode to non-performance mode.
Right? Like
So, I do have another thing for you though that you might make you happy. I don't know if you know, but February 2020 they're gonna have 12 episodes of season 7 of the Clone Wars.
yeah, I'm super excited. Gotta rewatch the Clone Wars before that though, but it'll be easy to do.
Yeah, I've never seen the cartoon series, but it's up there. I mean, my daughter is obsessed with those Star Wars cartoons. I just found out when we got Disney Plus that she likes the Star Wars cartoons, but she said that Disney kind of ruined them at the same time, so I was a little surprised.
The guy who made or directed the Clone Wars and Rebels also made the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
did some other things,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm just learning something new. Dreadport, are you a fan of Star Wars?
No, I'm the Mandalorian.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm into it. I've been into it. I've been a huge Star Wars fan, and then I get married to a Trekkie. So go figure, right?
Wow.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. I guess opposites unite in a sense,
Things you find out after you get married.
I mean, you could have 1 week of like Star Wars marathon, next week a Star Trek marathon, right? You could sit through it.
Yeah, nah, I like Star Trek too, but I mean, if I had to pick one or the other, it'd be Star Wars. So big fan of Boba Fett. So, when it comes to legends and canon, I still have to remember to separate my legends now, the new legends that Disney has set out versus the canon for a lot of this stuff.
See, as a kid, I just liked the Empire. I mean, that's what really hooked me. I mean, I had the Fox VHS tapes that my dad got. They were like double VHS tapes, and I had the real Who Shot First and whatnot. I kind of lost those now because I think I think the mark on those tapes was like, I want to say like 1981. I want to say. I can't even remember. But
You
yeah,
want to know how big of a Star Wars fan I am?
yep, I'm ready.
I've got the Family Guy Blue Harvest. I've got the original trilogy on VHS. I've got the Gold series prequels and original trilogy, where the original trilogy also has the theatrical release where Han did shoot first. It came with 2 discs. I got that. I've got the Ewoks, Carnival of Courage, and Battle for Endar. Clone Wars cartoon, the actual cartoon, Volume 1 and 2, which were those little, I'd say like 30-segment cartoons in the commercials on Cartoon Network. Robot Chicken Star Wars Tech, the actual Star Wars movie, Clone Wars movie, Star Wars Tech, where they talk about all the tech that they put in Star Wars and where we're actually going to, Phineas and Ferb Star Wars, Lego Droid Tales, Lego Yoda Chronicles, Lego Empire Strikes Out, let's see what else. Obviously all the Solo stuff, the Freemaker Lego stuff, the Padawan Menace. I mean, I'm all about it. I even have Spaceballs and Fanboys. So Fanboys I throw in as a Star Wars movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Sasson, what do you think?
That's a lot. Sounds like a good time to watch them all. And
Yep. And now it's digital on Disney too, so even better.
yeah, I hope Disney releases the movies in 4K HDR because they're on that on Disney Plus.
So, Dreadpool, are you looking forward to getting this game?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's just money's tight right now. We got Christmas coming up. Thanksgiving's right around the corner, so we're doing something special for great grandma.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, we're getting her out of the house, and we're actually taking her to Disney. So we're going to get her a buffet with characters and all that, and she doesn't have to worry about her house getting all messed up because everybody would always bring stuff to her house, and her house would always be flooded with everybody. We figure, you know what? You don't have to worry about getting up to help somebody because we're always like, sit down, relax, we got this. Now she cannot do that. She has to sit down and she has to relax, and the food will be brought out to us as it's a buffet style, but they bring it to you.
Okay, so
So
that,
yeah.
that sounds good. Speaking of, I know we're kind of talking about Thanksgiving now, but one thing I wanted to talk about before we end the show, and Keith mentioned in the chat, was Black Friday deals. Have you guys looked at or thought of any of Black Friday deals?
I thought of it, but as you pointed out earlier, a lot of them are already gone.
Well, the Dell ones were fantastic because I look back now and I think some of it was even a pricing error. Like, for example, the Xbox One S All Digital Edition initially showed up as $49 on the Dell website. And when I went to go look at it, it was sold out. So I made a tweet to GameStop and to Dell making a joke that I was going to go ahead and trade in some of the stuff and flip it. And a couple hours later, all the prices were corrected, but they're still sold out. Like the NBA 2K20 Xbox One S bundle was $99 on Dell, right? Initially. And then a few hours later, they upped it to $199. So I think there was some massive price error. But I
Yeah.
was really excited to try and grab some, and that was all gone.
Well, hopefully they honor it because I bought a guitar that was a really great deal, and they turned around and sent me an email after I did throw it out there on social media, and I was like, oh man, check this out, and ended up screwing myself and a few other people. So I don't know if it was me that did it or what, but they sold out, and they turned around. They sent us all emails saying that they're not honoring that because it was a typo. So
Oh,
Wow.
man.
hopefully they will honor what they put out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean I understand it's a typo, but it's not my fault you screwed up, and I paid for it,
Yep.
but they wouldn't honor it. So like I said, hopefully Dell will honor what they did, even if it was a typo.
Well, I'm just looking through the list here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but there's video game deals and slick deals .net. They usually have like a lot of good deals for Black Friday. Like they post everything ahead of time. BFads.net, I think, is another one. And Cheap Ass Gamer, aka Video Game Deals, they did a whole spreadsheet, one of their members, of all the games that are like on sale and where you can get them from. I'll put the link in the chat for a lot of people. Watching the show today or replaying the chat later. But it's a massive thing here, and just going through this list, I mean, I see Borderlands 3 at $30 for Xbox One, lowest $27.99 for PS4. Um, Call of Cthulhu is $24.99. Or I'm sorry, Switch $29.99, and then Modern Warfare 2019 edition is already on sale. The lowest for $38 on both Xbox One, PS4. Trying to go through else and see here. Crash Team Race and Nitro Fueled. The lowest on that is Switch at 15. PS4 at 19. No surprise that Fallout 76 is gonna be like $10. Um, is there any games you have a question of what's gonna be on sale? I mean, you can drop in the chat and I'll look at this list and I'll mention it before we head off here. Yeah, that's a good deal, Keith. I mean, that's fantastic. AC Odyssey is an amazing game. You got all the
Oh yeah,
DLC, and yeah, that's good for 25, man. Fantastic deal.
it's a fantastic deal. Even if you didn't get all the season expansions or any of the extra stuff, and you just got the base game, just put an extra 25 down. I mean, the season expansions at least what, $30, I think it was back.
Yeah.
Back when they pushed it out. So boom, there you go, $25. Get the extra stuff. I mean, why not GTA it, right? Everybody else buys Grand Theft Auto over and over and over again just to get the was it the shark cards and all that?
Oh yeah, yeah, and that thing's on sale again. It's Black Friday. Um, like I mean, I see the Wolfenstein in here. I might actually pick up Youngblood Assassin. That's on
Oh,
sale.
why? That game is so bad.
I mean, I want to
Please,
try it. You know.
don't waste your money. Redbox
And that's
find a
funny.
dollar bin in Walmart.
When that first came out, everybody was talking about how good it was, and then like a month later, it was a bad game. So it's hard to tell. I mean, I haven't played it, so I don't know. But it's funny how certain games, after either they're good right away initially, or they go bad, or they build up, and they were bad from the get go, and everybody turns around and was like, yeah, I had fun with
Yeah,
the game.
they were in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Um, the Spyro trilogy is on sale. Star Wars Pinball on Switch is on sale. Um, what else? I saw something else in here. Dark Pictures, the Man of Medan is already on sale. Shenmue 3 is already on sale. Um, I mean, this list is just fantastic. You guys got to check this out.
Need for
Uh,
Speed Heat is on sale. And I feel like that's a giant kick in the nuts. Whoever just bought it like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago.
how much is it on
Yeah.
sale for?
It's like 40 or something for the base game or something like that.
Oh, that's probably going to come down even more than that because of.
Yeah, but it just came out. Like it's like another Battlefield 5. Like it said it was worse for Battlefield 5.
You see, it almost seems like if any game comes out in November or even possibly even October, you almost don't want to get the game until after Black Friday. And the worst part is saying that it doesn't help these developers with their games. It's like a bad window to put out because all of a sudden, you're going to get everybody all upset that they just spent money on this game when they could have just waited. In the meantime, next year when they do the same thing, they're probably going to end up waiting. So it's like a bad thing. And at the same time, you can't just leave your game at full price when everybody else is dipping down on their sales.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That game Medieval on PlayStation's already on sale. I know a lot of people didn't like that game, but I want to check it out because I talked to Mike Mika and his studio is behind some of it. So I want to check it out and play it. It looked cool to me. I mean, but there's just so many things in here. You guys got to take a look at this list. I didn't really go through a whole bunch of the Xbox Black Friday sales because I thought like some of them were still higher priced than if you were to get it physical, which I don't think is fair. I think digital should come down more than physical on these sales, and for some reason lately they're not. Just think it's because of the ease of convenience that we don't have to go out and put a disc in or you know but the bundle sales, I mean, I expected these bundle sales to be where they are. You're seeing, let's see, what is this? The PlayStation 4 1 terabyte bundles for like $199. The Xbox One X bundles for like $349. The Xbox One S bundles for around $199. Unless catch a price glitch somewhere. The controllers are already on sale at Target and store for $39.99. Walmart lowered the prices on their controllers as well. Their base black controller now is like $36 in store, and I think that's their permanent price at Walmart. And there's another thing too that a lot of people don't realize, that Walmart lowered a lot of their prices by $10 on all the games, and I think it's to compete because Amazon does that like $10 off if you pre-order or whatnot. But
Same thing
Walmart,
with Best Buy, $10 gift card or whatever.
yep. but Walmart's prices now are like permanently $10 less than almost any other retailer. And the games, some of them are even oddly priced, like $33.94, $50.94. That kind of shocked me, and I think it depends on the demographics. I was talking to some of the cool guys over at Iron Lord's podcast, and it seems to vary in different markets. But Dreadpool, my market and the WalMarts over here are $10 less for everything, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't shop there. I try to avoid that place as much as possible. When you take away the 50 registers that you have with only 2 employees running 2 out of the 50 registers, and they want you to become a self-employee of theirs to ring out your own stuff, I start boycotting that because that's a job that somebody else could have had, and I'm not getting paid to ring my own stuff out.
Interesting way to put it. You're not looking at the convenience factor. You're looking at the fact like, hey, I want somebody to help me out. That's why you guys pay these people to help me. So I
Those
get
Well,
it.
self checkouts are so annoying. You like slide it, so like you slide it again, or you have to wait for someone to come by because you
well, classic
split it like a certain way, or it's so annoying.
classic example. I mean, I was at another place that did the same thing, um, and someone ring up, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, there's only 4 self-register people here, or whatever self-registers, self-checkout. There you go. And I'm looking around. I'm like, it got stuck, and it says ask for assistance. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, well, who's assisting me? And I look over at the next register. I said, are you having any problems? And they're looking at me like, what? I'm like, it says to ask for assistance, and I don't see anybody here to ask. And he's like, I don't know, man. Maybe you should yell out help. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. So I started yelling out help. And everybody looked at me, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm asking for help because I am stuck here. It's different if the person at the register got stuck with it because they can punch in their code or they can call for a manager. Who am I calling? I don't have a code. I don't have a phone that I can call a manager. You know what I mean? So I'm calling out. And that's what I did. And they're like, "Oh, I was over here helping somebody. I was only gone for like a minute." And I was like, "No, I've been here for a lot longer than that because the register over there, 3 people went through it, no problem. And I'm still standing here and nobody came to my aid. And I'm sure it's beeping on your screen, to help this register here because I'm stuck." And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. And I even did it just because I was like, all right, you know what? I'll do this because I need to hurry up and get in, get out. And I ended up getting stuck there. So, and I also look at the fact that there's one person when they could have had 2 people working. You know what I mean? So they're saving money by not paying you. They're not paying a cashier. And then there's an extra person that's looking for a job somewhere else. So I do it more on my ethics. I think that, you shouldn't cut out jobs just to save a buck. And, I know I want to save a buck, but, not the companies. They make enough money from us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of people in my family feel the same way, especially my mom. She gets so angry over these self checkouts. Like, she'll just, if she sees that a majority of it's self checkout, she'll just drop her stuff and leave and, like, go somewhere else, like to Target or somewhere that might be even more expensive than there. But yeah, she's with you on
Yeah.
that one.
Well, I mean, if I got 2 items, all right, fine, beep, beep, and then you go. But, you got 13 items, you got a whole basket, that's a lot of work. You just got done walking all up and down all these aisles looking for stuff that you're trying to figure out where it's at. So I know I'm probably sounding like an old man right now, but it's just my thing. I don't, I don't think that um, people should have to suffer because they want to go, electronic with everything. And, like I said, it's making it harder and harder for people to find a job if there aren't that many jobs out there. So,
Yeah.
and that's the only way I have a way to help combat that. I still support the businesses, but not in that way. I will make sure that I will go to a register that a person is at to show that there's validity in having a person there.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, I feel like sometimes I support delivery drivers with all the Amazon stuff I buy.
Yes.
So at least somebody still has to deliver those. We're not drones yet, you know?
I can't wait to see a drone delivered at my house. And that'll be the last time, too.
Well, getting back on track real quick, I see also that the 3 month Game Pass Ultimate card subscription is on sale for $26.99 at different retailers. The PlayStation Plus 12-month membership, depending where you go, is average about $44, but on CD keys, I think it was going for 38, and prior to that on Amazon for one day it was at 25. So keep an eye on that. It might drop back down to 25 on Amazon. Um, the PlayStation controllers are going to go down to 38 on Black Friday. Some places are already honoring that. And then movie wise, I mean, there's a whole bunch of Blu-rays going on sale, like left and right everywhere, like Target, Best Buy, um, Walmart. So just keep an eye out for that. It's probably going to vary, and it's going to change on the day of Black Friday with all those bins, I'm sure, anyway. It's going to pop in, open up a bin, and like there's going to be like thousands for like $4, $3 probably. You guys doing anything special on Black Friday, or?
I avoid the crowds.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, I know Assassin. He won't. He would prefer to order online and avoid anything that was in person if possible.
Yep.
Yeah, I usually go to Amazon or Best Buy or anything like that, depending on what I'm looking for. And I do my Black Friday that way. And it's usually like right around between now and Thanksgiving. So my wife actually goes through and she likes to do oh, let's go here, let's go there. And I'm like, no, I'll just stay home. We got the kid. I'll stay home.
I go fucking shopping.
Well, with that said, I mean, there's not much more to talk about. If you guys have any questions in the chat, drop them or leave a comment on the video. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and say this is Clowns, and I'm signing off. And Dreadpool, before I sign everybody else off, where can people find you?
Well, you can always find me on Twitter as Dreadpool, and the O's are actually zeros. And then the rest of it is YouTube, Mixer, and Xbox is Dreadpool, all caps.
Hear that, guys? Go give him a follow. Go give him a listen on all the other podcasts he's been on. Anything coming up that you're going to be on, Dreadpool?
Actually, I did talk to Graphic God last week, and unfortunately I couldn't do it last week. And I think I'm still on for tomorrow. So tomorrow at Retro Renegades.
That is one of my favorite podcasts. It's always a fantastic show, and it's just a bunch of dudes just hanging out, having fun, talking about whatever pops up. And Assassin, where can people find you?
You can find me here. You can find me there. You can find me everywhere. But I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/ZPCI Assassin. Stream pretty much every day. Won't be streaming Thursday or Friday. And same thing with Twitter, and Xbox and PlayStation, and probably Steam, but I don't go on Steam, and I would say Switch, but I'm just a bunch of numbers over there, so yeah.
And definitely go give him a follow at twitch.tv /ZPCI_assassin. He's always working hard on there. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who's come out tonight. There's been a lot of people in the chat, and I'm sorry if I don't remember, if you stopped by, but Jago, Indie Gamer, Sticking Corpse, Dreadpool, thanks for being in the chat as well. TXR, Invader, thanks for coming by. Mass Mayhem. Who else stopped by earlier?
Keith Taylor,
thank you for dropping by, man. I really appreciate that Black Friday stuff you brought up. Made me think about it. Jeepers Creepers, Monkey Punch. And if I missed you, I'm sorry, I apologize. But
Yeah,
thank you for dropping by.
my phone just died, so I can't see who else was in there.
Oh, that's okay. I'll give him a shout out on the next show. Oh, and Stinger, man. Yeah, how can I forget that? Stinger, thanks for dropping by, man. I really appreciate that. Always love the NLG shows as well. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and sign off so these guys can get off for the night and carry on the usual activities. And thanks for stopping by, everybody.